Finding your comfortable seat. Finding that your bum and the backs of the thighs are supported. Letting the soles of your feet rest down. Kind of settling in, letting go of anything that's happened so far this morning, and just letting your body arrive onto the chair. It might feel good to take a couple of sighs, deep inhale, and audible exhale. You can even bring the hands into it if it feels good. Letting them swing down anyway, anything that feels good. As many times as you feel like it would serve you to do. And then we'll start to find a little bit of stillness. Letting the crown of the head reach up, so lengthening the spine, finding a nice tall seat, almost as though we're stretching through the inside. And then letting the shoulders rest down. Maybe softening or smoothing out the forehead. Softening the jaw. And if the jaw feels a little tighter than usual, or it's hard to feel like it can get soft, you can bring the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and that can encourage a little extra softness in the jaw. Letting the hands rest wherever they feel good. Palms down or palms up, whichever feels better. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever serves you in this moment, this morning. Taking a few breaths, just being with your body. Maybe noticing the points of contact your body has with the floor and the chair. Noticing the soles of your feet on the earth. The backs of the thighs resting down. The sit bones resting heavily into the chair. With awareness on the sit bones, noticing if one feels a little heavier than the other. Seeing if you can adjust that, let the weight be evenly distributed. And then bringing your awareness to your breath, maybe feeling the coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils. The warmth of the air as it leaves your nose or mouth. Noticing how your breath feels this morning. Is it deep or shallow? Can you encourage it to go a little more deeply, maybe sending it down into your ribs and allowing the ribs to expand all the way around, front, sides, and back? Imagining that there's a cylinder in your torso and you're expanding in all directions. How would it feel to send the breath even a little more deeply down into the belly, allowing the belly to be soft, to expand as you breathe? And staying with the idea of expanding a cylinder, we're just deepening the cylinder a little bit. Can you breathe both into your belly, into your waist, into your low back? As we send the breath a little more deeply, the breath might slow. At any point there's any sense of anxiety or a feeling of not enough breath, then letting the breath go, returning to your natural rhythm. Staying here for a few more breaths, but feels okay. Breathing into the cylinder of your abdomen, of your whole torso, expanding in all directions. And when you're ready, we'll start moving into the head gently. When your next exhale arrives, tipping the chin down towards the chest. With an inhale, we'll lift the head, tipping the chin up towards the ceiling. Letting this be gentle, we're not cranking back into the neck. Again, with an exhale, tipping the chin down towards the chest. And continuing to move in this way, following your own breath. Maybe letting it feel as though your breath is directing the movement. Eyes can be open or closed. Once more in each direction. And then making your way back to center as you're ready. As you arrive back in center, noticing sensations, noticing any feelings, tingling, anything at all that comes up, giving yourself the time to notice. And then we'll start moving the head from side to side as though we were looking over one shoulder. Inhaling in center. And with an exhale, turning the head over one shoulder. Inhaling back to center when you're ready. And exhaling in the other direction. Moving with your breath again, following your own rhythm. And letting the breath guide your movement. One more time on each side. As you make your way back to center, noticing sensations once again. Let's move down into the shoulders a little bit, starting with some shoulder rolls. So hands can lift or they can stay resting on your lap. You can also bring fingertips to shoulders, feeling whichever variation suits your mood, suits your body this morning. Switching directions when you're ready, rolling the shoulders the other way. And releasing the hands back into your lap, releasing the shoulders, pausing for a moment to notice sensations. And let's, with an Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale to release them down. 3 more times. Inhaling up, squeeze towards your ears. And exhaling to release them down. Twice more, moving with your breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. Making this your last one. Let's move a little bit more broadly into the shoulders and into the arms. We'll start with the right side. It might feel good if your chair is wide enough that you might hit your hand on the chair. You might shift your weight over to the right a little bit so you've got a little more space for the arm to swing. And let's find some big arm circles. So we'll inhale the arm forward and up. Then exhaling the arm back and down. Keeping it as close to the body as feels okay, but we're not looking to move into any pain. You can move with your breath, inhaling up and exhaling back and down. And let's do one more. Pausing to notice sensations just for a moment. We'll stay with the same side, the right side, and we'll move in circles going the opposite way. So starting again with your hand resting down by your side or reaching down beside your chair. With an inhale, we'll reach down, back and up. Exhale down and forward. Inhaling up and back. Exhaling down and forward. 2 more, moving with your breath. When you've completed about 4 rounds altogether, we'll bring the hand back to the lap. Noticing sensations in the shoulder, maybe anything that's coming down your arm or into your wrist or fingertips, just noticing what sensations come about from that movement. And let's move over to the left side. So shifting weight over to the left, unless your arm is free when you're in the center of the chair. We'll start off with left hand hanging down by your side. With an inhale, we'll sweep the arm up and forward. Exhaling back and down. We'll do 3 more, moving with your breath. Last one. And releasing the hand to your lap for a moment, noticing sensations before we switch directions. And then again, letting the left hand reach down by your side. We'll inhale back and up. Exhaling forward and down. Inhaling back and up. Exhaling forward and down. 2 more, moving with your own breath. And as you're ready, releasing left hand to your lap, maybe shifting your weight back to the center of the chair if you're off to one side. Noticing sensations now in the left arm, anything in the shoulder, maybe in the upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, or fingertips. Just noticing what you notice. And let's move down into the hands. I think it's a hand massage kind of a day. So picking, maybe starting off with using your dominant hand as the massaging hand. So I'm going to use my right hand and my left hand will receive the massage first. Starting with the thumb in the palm of the non-dominant hand. We'll just massage the very center of the palm a little bit. Moving into the heel of the hand a little bit. not neglecting the outside edge. And let's move over to the thumb joint, so the very base of the thumb. Maybe a little bit in between in the webbing. The base of the first finger. The webbing between first and second finger. Base of the middle finger. The webbing between. Base of the ring finger. Webbing between. And the base of the pinky. If your palm is looking for another little massage, maybe a little more in the palm. And then let's flip the hand over. The hand can rest on your thigh if it feels good, and we'll use the middle fingers of the dominant hand to kind of massage between the knuckles, between the bones on the back of your hand. And shaking out both hands when you're ready. We'll switch sides. Now the dominant hand gets the massage, maybe starting right in the center, massaging the middle of your palm. And broadening the massage, getting into the whole palm of your hand. Making sure to catch the heel of your hand, the outside edge. Let's move to the base of the thumb. The webbing between the thumb and the first finger. The base of the first finger. The webbing between first and middle. Base of the middle finger. The webbing between middle and ring finger. Base of the ring finger. Webbing between ring finger and pinky. Base of the pinky. And revisiting the palm of your hand, maybe a broader massaging of the whole palm. And when you're ready, we'll flip this hand over, using the three fingers on the opposite hand to massage between the knuckles, between the bones on the back of your hand. It can rest on your thigh as well if that works. Then shaking out both hands again. It might feel good to interlace the fingers, finding a little bit of a wrist stretch or wrist circles. Switching directions when you're ready. Releasing the interlace, bringing hands to prayer. Trying to keep the base of your palms together as much as possible. And then we'll start to bring the hands as low as feels okay. We're not, again, looking for any pain, just a gentle stretch. And then reaching up above your head. Bringing them back down to prayer. And maybe lower towards your belly button. Moving between these two shapes a few times. You can move with breath or not. Stretching the hands up. And then bringing the hands as low as feels okay, stretching into the wrists a little bit. And we'll release the hands again, maybe shaking them out. Let's move down into the spine. Let's start off with our twisting this morning first. Let's bring right hand to left shoulder. Back of the left hand to the sacrum or low back. Inhaling nice and tall. As you exhale, let's turn the shoulders towards the left. Breathing here for a couple of breaths. Every inhale, thinking about reaching the crown of the head up, keeping the spine long. With every exhale, allowing your body to settle. And then when you're ready, unwinding, coming all the way back to center. Let's stay with this side one more time. Again, inhaling nice and tall. Exhaling to twist to the same side. Crown of the head lifts with the inhale. Body settles into the twist with the exhale. The head might look over the left shoulder. We'll stay for one more breath if it feels okay. And slowly unwinding. Releasing the hands as you're ready. Pausing for a moment, noticing any difference in sensation from one side of the body to the other, one hand to the other, arms, shoulders, anywhere that you feel differences. And then we'll bring left hand to right shoulder. Back of the right hand will come to the low back or sacrum. Again, finding that tall seat, inhaling, crown of the head lifts. As you exhale, turning the shoulders towards the right. Every inhale, crown of the head lifts, spine is long. As you exhale, settling into the twist. Breathing here for about another 2 breaths. When you're ready, unwinding, coming back to center, keeping the hands as they are if it feels okay. Taking a breath as you arrive back in center. And then we'll find that same twist again. Inhaling tall. Exhaling to turn the shoulders towards the right, same side. This time the head might look over the right shoulder if it feels okay. Still with every inhale, reaching the crown up, crown of the head. And as you exhale, settling into the twist. Then when you're ready, unwinding, coming back to center. Releasing the hands. And giving yourself the time and space to notice sensation. For our side bend this morning, let's take the arms out wide. Reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're reaching out through the heels of your hands, as though you're I don't know if you've got like superhero powers coming out of your hands, reaching out to opposite sides, stretching out, inhaling tall. Exhaling, let's tip to one side. Inhaling back to center. And exhaling to the other side. Inhaling back to center. Keep breathing. Let's switch where the fingertips are going. Let's switch the fingertips to point down towards the floor. So now we're reaching out through the tops of our wrists. With your next exhale, tipping to one side. Inhaling back up. Exhaling other side. Inhaling back up. Releasing the arms, releasing the hands, maybe shaking out the wrists again. If it feels okay in your body, in your hands, to interlace the fingers and then flip the palms away, reaching out through the palms in front of you. We could find that now. That might feel good on the wrists and fingers. If it would serve you to stay here, stay here. If it would feel good to reach up and overhead, that's another option. Added possible complication. Then releasing the hands back down. Noticing which finger's on top, and then we'll switch the interlace the way that feels a little less natural, a little more awkward, and we'll do the same thing if it feels okay. Reaching fingertips away, flipping the palms. And then either staying here or reaching arms up and overhead. And then we'll release the hands, releasing the fingers. Shaking out the wrists again, or fingertips might feel good. And then we'll come to our cat-cow variation. So I'll turn sideways, you can stay as you are. Letting the hands rest either on the knees or thighs. Finding the tall seat first. Feet are gently pushing into the floor to keep legs and hips stable. Crown of the head is lifted. Slight tuck of the chin. We're keeping the back of the neck long in a neutral spine. And breathing here for a moment, letting the shoulders melt down. When your next exhale arrives, let's push the knees away, pulling the belly towards the spine or towards the back of the chair. Shoulder blades will spread apart and the chin will tuck down towards the chest. Halloween cat shape. With an inhale, we'll reverse the curve of the spine, bringing the chest forward. The gaze might lift a little bit. The shoulder blades are pulling towards each other as though they could push your heart forward. And then exhaling again to cat, rounding the spine. Inhaling to cow, chest comes forward, gaze lifts. Moving through a few more rounds, following your breath pattern. And making this work for you, whether it's more deep or more shallow, honoring what your body's looking for today. When you've had enough, both sides or both directions have been done about evenly. Making your way back to center, back to a neutral spine. Back to the crown of the head lifting, back of the neck long, shoulders reaching or softening down, and all the natural curves of your spine present. Giving yourself the time to notice sensations. And we'll move down into the legs, into the knees. So shifting forward on your chair a little bit so that the legs have a little more space to move. Let's start by widening the feet, coming up onto the toes and swiveling the knees from side to side. You might hold on to the back of your chair, the seat of your chair behind your hips. Then the next time you've done both sides evenly, making your way back to center. Coming back to a neutral spine. Let's draw the right knee up towards your chest, either using your hands or the power of your leg. And then once you've got your leg in hand, adjust your posture or check in on your posture. Is the crown of the head still lifting? Are the shoulders still broad? Does the spine still feel like it's lifting, or are you rounded forward? So finding that tall, strong, neutral spine as much as possible. And then let's start out by stretching into the right leg. So stretching the leg forward to as close to straight as it will go, and then bending. Toe can either be pointed or the foot can be flexed, your choice. And let's do one more. Then releasing your foot, and let's find some ankle circles. Switching directions for the circles. And then we'll move into the hip a little bit, finding some circles in the hip. So you can continue holding around the thigh if that feels good. I tend to like to hold around kind of between my shin and my knee. I find it's a better spot for my hand. So holding wherever feels good and moving the hip or the thigh bone in the hip socket in nice big circles. Again, not looking for any pain, but finding your range of motion. How big a circle feels okay. Switching directions when you're ready. And then bringing the knee forward once more. Let's point and flex the foot a few times. And then we'll release right leg to the floor. Give yourself that time, noticing sensations, any difference from one leg to the other. And then we'll move over to the left side, drawing the left knee or thigh up towards your chest, either using your hands or using the power of your leg. Once you have your leg in hand, checking in on the posture, keeping the shoulders broad, keeping the spine lifting. And then we'll start with stretching into the leg. So either the foot can be pointed or flexed, your choice, but we'll move to straighten the left leg and then bend. Twice more. And then releasing the foot if it was flexed or pointed. And we'll find some ankle circles on the left side. Switching directions when you're ready. Then we'll find some hip circles or hip circles with the thigh bone. So adjusting your hold if it would make sense to hold somewhere else, holding wherever it's comfortable and moving in big hip circles. As big as feels okay, no pain, just exploring your range of motion. Switching directions when you're ready. And bringing the leg forward again. And we'll find some pointing and flexing of the foot a few times. And releasing left foot down to the floor. We'll move through 3 seated sun salutations. So letting the feet be either hip width distance as they are in our tall and neutral seat, or if it would feel better to have a wider stance to allow for room for the torso to come through as we bend forward, that's an option as well. So setting up as feels good, and we can always adjust for each round. For the first round, finding your stance, feet pushing into the ground, legs are stable, hips are stable. Crown of the head is reaching up, shoulders are softening down. With an inhale, let's sweep the arms up and overhead as high as they feel okay to go for the shoulders. Exhaling the hands back to thighs. With an inhale, drawing the chest forward, cow pose. With an exhale, cat pose, rounding the spine. Inhaling back to a tall and neutral seat. And exhaling to fold forward. With an inhale, we'll sweep right arm up into a twist. Exhaling, right arm down. Inhaling, left arm up into a twist. Exhaling, left arm down. Next inhale brings us back to our tall seat. Arms might sweep up and overhead again. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Taking a breath between, adjusting feet as necessary or desired. Next inhale, let's sweep arms up and overhead as high as they feel okay to go. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Inhaling to cow, chest comes forward, gaze lifts. Exhaling to cat, rounded spine, chin tucks down towards the chest. Inhaling back to a neutral spine. And exhaling to fold forward. With an inhale, the right arm sweeps up into a twist. The gaze might follow the fingertips. Exhaling, right hand back down. Inhaling the left arm up into a twist. The gaze might follow the fingers. Exhaling, left arm back down. With an inhale, both arms sweep up and over, bringing us back to a tall seat. Might gaze at the thumbs. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Last one, taking a breath between. When you're ready, inhaling to sweep arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands back to your thighs. Inhaling, chest forward, cow pose. Exhaling, rounding the spine, cat shape. Inhaling back to a neutral spine as you're ready. Exhaling to fold forward. With an inhale, right arm sweeps up. Gaze might follow the fingers. Exhaling, right arm back down. Inhaling, the left arm sweeps up into a twist. Gaze might follow the fingers. Exhaling, left arm back down. Next inhale brings us back to a tall seat. Arms sweep up and over. Your eyes might follow the thumbs. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Beautiful. Noticing any sensation from the body after our 3 rounds of sun salutations. Any flow of energy or sparkling feeling, anything that comes up. Let's make our way to standing any way that feels good to do a couple of balance poses. We'll do 2 different balance poses today. One which will involve tree, and the other one will be maybe warrior 3, where you're one leg back. No hip opener on that one, but it's still a tricky balance. So let's start with our tree pose, having one hand available for support as needed. And we'll start by standing on the left foot, letting the right foot start to get light. Maybe coming up onto the toes to begin, and then letting the right leg or right knee sweep out to the right. And then you can decide whether this is your balance today with a little bit of a kickstand, the support of the second foot, or whether that foot lifts coming onto the shin. The hands can be wherever they feel good. They could be in prayer. One hand could be in a half prayer with a hand on the chair. You can have branches or reach up and overhead. You could really challenge yourself by sweeping your arms around, maybe even reaching behind you or switching directions. Remembering to breathe, whatever you're doing with your arms, remembering to breathe. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths if it feels okay. Thinking about sending the right knee down and away from you. And let's bring the right knee forward. Before we let it touch the ground, if at all possible, let's stretch it out in front of us, reaching the leg up, lifting as high as possible, and then releasing down to the floor. Beautiful. Finding any counterbalance, any wiggle that feels necessary. You can use the same hand for this balance or switch if you want to stay even. We'll stand on the right foot, letting the left foot start to get light, coming up onto the toes. And then we'll sweep left leg out towards the left, or left knee out towards the left. And then deciding, is this where we stay with the toe on the ground, challenging balance here? Or maybe the sole of the foot lifts, coming onto the shin. Hands can be wherever they feel good. They can be branches swaying in the wind. They could be in prayer. One hand could be on the chair, the other hand can be doing whatever it feels like doing. Hands can also be reaching up and overhead, or back behind you, remembering to breathe wherever you are. Thinking about reaching left knee down and away from you. 2 more breaths, feels okay. And we'll slowly bring the left knee forward. Avoiding touching the ground if at all possible. Stretching the leg forward and then lifting the left leg as high as possible before releasing it to the ground. Finding any counter movements. All right, round 2 for our balance. This time we will face the chair. We will step the feet back, almost as though we were coming into a down dog, so that the spine is almost parallel to the ground. But we want the feet as close together as possible for this one. Then when you're ready, let's start by standing on the left foot. The right foot will lift up and back. Imagine you have a teacup on your low back. So we're trying not to tip the hips. It can help to think about reaching out through the heel of the right foot. And then again, remembering to breathe. Staying for 1 more full breath cycle. Imagine lifting up through the back of the right thigh, up towards the ceiling. And then let's lower right leg. Take a breath with both feet on the ground. And then we'll move to the other side. Left leg will reach up and back. Again, the teacup is on your low back. Imagine not spilling your tea. Reaching out through the heel of the left foot. Remembering to breathe. Reaching up to the ceiling with the back of your left thigh. 1 more breath. And then let's bring the left foot back down. From here, we could widen the feet, maybe bending into the legs, finding our chair version of a down dog. Might feel good to sway from one leg to the other for a moment. Imagine reaching the tailbone in one direction, the crown of the head in the other, finding lots of length in the spine. If it feels good to be here, staying for another 2 breaths, but knowing you can come out whenever you like. And then slowly walking towards the chair as you're ready, making your way all the way back to standing. Pausing for a moment as you arrive, feeling both feet on the ground. Feeling that your weight is balanced, softening the shoulders down. Getting a sense that you're tall and strong, super stable. And then as you're ready, coming back to a chair to sit in a chair. And coming back to noticing your breath. Feeling the soles of your feet on the floor, letting the backs of the thighs rest down again. Feeling that your sit bones are evenly carrying you. Crown of the head lifting. Shoulders soft. And breathing. Letting go of any control of the breath, letting your breath be natural. Your body knows what to do. As we close practice, your hands can stay wherever they are if that feels good. You could bring them over your heart or into Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Sending gratitude to yourself, first of all, for making the time to move and breathe, to move in community, for honoring your own body and breath. With gratitude for allowing me to guide you through the practice today. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who have come before us, passing this practice on. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Peace. Peace.